Alright, so I'm back in the base, fresh off watching the game and all that. You know what I'm saying? Watching the Seahawks basically steamroll the Patriots for most of the entire game. This is what I basically got right here. You know what I'm saying? Deep slate tile slabs and all that for the floor. You know what I'm saying? I got polished cut deep slate for the accents and all that. I might end up switching this out for glass. That's what I'm thinking about. Got most of the base done. Most of it is polished cut deep slate. Still got the wood slabs still in there. The wood slabs all represent where I'm gonna put the accents at. I have a little bit of an idea of what I want to actually do. So this section is actually done right here. Not completely like I said. I'm gonna keep all the smooth stone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Still got the dark oak wood in here. Like I said, I don't know what I'm accenting with it. You know what I'm saying? But I do have a few ideas. One idea in particular, having in the creative world. Same thing down here. I kind of like the white stained glass as the floor, so I can see through the floor, because I have an idea for a floor design. And I also like the dark oak wood with the polished deep slate. I kind of like this design, but I know I'm gonna switch it out to something else. I really want color. I don't want to go with a bunch of grays and whites and stuff like that. It's easy to do. You know what I'm saying? So I do, like I said, I do have an idea for the actual color. Something else that I actually did as well is one thing I wanted to do was speed up the hypertubes, and I attempted it before, but I didn't really like it because I used the acceleration blocks after going to a creative world and really test out the acceleration blocks. Because when I added it right behind the entrance blocks, right behind these brass entrance blocks right here, it didn't really speed it up as much as I thought it would, and that kind of made me stop. What's the name? But I redesigned this little system right here. You know what I'm saying? This is based off of what I did over here. This right here is set up to automate uh, deep slate. You know, it's cut it down on the slabs or whatever and produce all the different variants. I got 3 different variants right now, and I've been switching all of this stuff out with the exchanger right here. Got most of the base done off of like about 3 barrels of deep slate, and all my deep slate is being produced down there. You know what I'm saying? Making deep slate pebbles or whatever and calcite pebbles. Deep slate pebbles are going into this machine that I set up already, and that's pressing it down in the blocks. So, like I said, it looks decent. It looks alright. It's not bad looking. It can look better though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to perfect it before I actually get back to actual progression, but it's decent enough. All the rest of the base from here all the way down there is all done. All the catwalks are basically done. You know what I'm saying? All the brass, I'm not the brass, the framework is not done. And it's all still wood. So I want to take a second, go into creative, and actually plan it out a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? On what I'm gonna actually do. So I did play around with a few ideas or whatever. I was trying to come up with a block palette or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I'm an engineer. I'm not really a builder. So building is not my specialty or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I am an artist in real life. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of different mediums or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Graphical design, music, woodworking, sculpture. You know what I'm saying? Basically anything that I can make art. You know what I'm saying? I'm more into functional art. That's kind of my thing or whatever. But like I said, that's the reason why I like logistics and Boolean algebra and all of that. But this is the design that I came up for the floor with, deep slate, the whistle name, and these are blocks that I normally use. I normally use polished deep slate, the deep slate tiles, the darker variant or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But these blue ward stone slabs I like, but they're made out of lapis. This always freezes for whatever reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so if I get one of these and take a look at it, and look at the actual block, it's made out of ward stone bricks. and you need to make the blend that's lapis, in other words. So I think I'm gonna come up with like a small independent system to mass produce that. And this is the design that I came up with a while ago. You know what I'm saying? It's taking a look at it. You know what I'm saying, to encapsulate my machines, because that's what I always kind of always wanted to do, was encapsulate my actual machines, like, you know, like their museum pieces and all that. So this is nothing but white stained glass, black stained glass, and orange. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of works. You have to see it in the daytime, but it kind of works. And with the blue flooring, the blue tiles, it kind of goes with it. You know what I'm saying? The orange kind of goes with it. So right here I got the orange concrete. You know what I'm saying? It kind of goes with it. And the black glass I might not use for the trim around it. I might just use the orange concrete, and then throw these slabs up here, these blue slabs, because you know, it's dark enough to make this actually stand out, make the orange stand out. And the orange is gonna be basically the accent color or whatever around the entire base. But I can't find a slab that's in the same color, because I need a slab as well to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? But I also have a floor design that looks like basically like a computer chip that I designed a while ago. It's a prefab design from two other mod packs that I have. I had that design ever since a 112 custom mod pack that I published on Curse Forge or whatever, and I never got to actually use it in any one of my instances. So ever since 112, I never actually got to use the design. I did use the design for the logo for the mod pack or whatever, but never actually used it in one of my builds or whatever. So I want to actually use it. I was gonna use it in my previous custom mod pack or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That was based around Create. But I never got a chance to actually use it. I'm still sitting on the design, so no. And that one is a variation of the original design. So I want to come up with another variation using this color scheme for this actual world, and that's what I'm probably gonna do. I just have to import it. I do have it in schematic form already, so I'm gonna just import it into this creative world, and then see how everything looks. Um, yeah, and that's basically it. That's basically it. So that's the actual plan. As far as actual real structures instead of boxes around my what's the name, boxes are just for the actual machines, but and the different sections of the base or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But actual structures around these boxes, I don't know what I want to come up with. I do have a few ideas. Um, One of them is going to be the Genius from Wu Tang, which I grew up on. I'm in my 40s, so I grew up on Wu Tang. Um, you know, a couple different artists. You know what I'm saying? You know, the real artists, the real hip hop artists, or whatever, from back in the day in the '90s, whatever, '90s hip hop golden era and all that. Uh, so I was listening to Beneath the Surface. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot of different MCs or whatever. I don't really like using their logos and stuff like that, but I feel like this is a situation where I might and use this color scheme to make the the G Woo symbol or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for the cover of that album, that particular album, Beneath the Surface, that came out when I was 19 years old, and there's a G symbol embedded into the earth on for the cover and whatever, and I want to actually recreate that into the floor design, you know what I'm saying, for at least one section of the base, like a large G symbol that covers multiple chunks. Thinking about doing that, and then I'm also a trekker. I've been a trekker ever since I was 16 or whatever. I grew up on Next Generation, so Jordan Forge is one of my favorite characters and all that. So I'm thinking about making a sculpture of his, you know, of his face or whatever in the world and all that. You know what I'm saying? I did look up to see if I could find like an OBJ or STL or whatever, and I found one of them, but you have to actually pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the 3D models or whatever, you have to actually pay for nowadays. Back in the days, you could find them for free, but nowadays you have to actually pay for the actual files. So the one that I found was $50, and that's the only one that I can find that was an actual sculpture of his head or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I don't typically pay for stuff like that, but I might just, you know, throw the little $50 up, you know what I'm saying, and purchase the OBJ file or whatever, and then import that, you know what I'm saying. Well, send it to like Blockbench or something like that, a Blender or something like that, you know what I'm saying. Make a usable file that I can use here, usable sculpture, you know what I'm saying. Then import that into the world or whatever, and then just decorate that. You know what I'm saying? And make it blend with everything. But yeah, that's the ideas that I'm going with. The ideas that I'm throwing around. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could build on those ideas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm gonna do. In the meantime, I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I still have to mass produce all this. I have to mass produce the lapis, and then I need to mass produce the orange flour for the concrete. I already have clay mass produced, so that's not really an issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to make the orange terracotta. You know what I'm saying? I just have to scale up the system and make it larger. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the system for all the decorative stuff, I want to make. Again, I have to do it here, and I'm gonna design a system that's fully self-sufficient, and independent system that's fully self-sufficient. Um, that I don't have to worry about. I could just flip a button and turn everything on and just basically mass produce everything, and that'll be a separate system, just for all the decorative blocks and all that. You know what I'm saying? Also, that's one project, and then the second project is for actual progression. So with the MV machines and all that, you need to mass produce a couple different components. I'm already mass producing aluminum. I already started mass producing clay because clay is a better source of aluminum now. Just electrolyze, macerate it and electrolyze it, and you get aluminum that way, which is a lot better than the way that I was doing it before. The way that I was doing it before, I felt was progression wise was just so you can get just the bare minimum, the basic machines, um, and then when you get your basic MV machines, then you can start mass producing clay and getting aluminum that way. So, well, that is the intended. I want to say that's the intended progression path for GT anyway, for MV. So, yeah, I have to basically mass produce circuits because they're definitely gonna need that. Mass produce most of the basic components, gears, rods, plates, everything like that, foil and all that. That all set up, and the biggest thing out of everything is the power system. So I was trying to look and see what I was gonna go with, and I'm at the point now. I did look into the recipes, and I can make solar panels. So solar panels is gonna be one form of power, but that's gonna be my secondary auxiliary power. The main form of power is gonna be combustion. That's what I'm gonna go with because I'm already mass producing pumpkins and seeds, and I could just create another separate system for that as well. A couple of farming greenhouses or whatever. They also have a greenhouse, another separate greenhouse multi-block, which is like an advanced version of the basic GT multi-block farm or whatever. And I can mass produce all my seeds there, uh, and just use the seeds. You already know where I'm going with this. Seed oil, process that. You know what I'm saying, into biofuel. You know what I'm saying. So or biodiesel. You know what I'm saying. Cause of course, I can't create oil. Or I haven't seen a way to create oil, so I can't make like real fuels. You know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna have to do biomass in the biodiesel way. You know what I'm saying. And just make an array of those combustion generators, and then have the solar panels along with that, and that'll be my power system for MV. And just make it large enough. And if I have to, the generator coils that I have, to create generator coils with the windmills, I have the schematics for those, and I already have most of all the parts that I need because I mass produced that a long time ago. So I could set up maybe two more modules of that, and that'll be like my tertiary power. You know what I'm saying? Run that into MV energy converters, 16 amp energy converters. Same thing from the redstone cells and all that. You know what I'm saying? The redstone flux cells. You know what I'm saying? And do it that way. Make a larger multi-block with the redstone flux cells. Run them into the energy converters, MV energy converters. You know what I'm saying? And run those into battery boxes with better batteries in them. You know what I'm saying? Better, larger batteries in them, and that'll be my the last form of power that I need or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just those three in general. I feel like it's enough to actually run all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because already with the two EBFs and all that, you know what I'm saying? EBFs are really MV machines. They're not really LV machines, and it's already 120 EU per tick. 60 EU per tick is like single block MV machines and all that. And anything like 38 EU per tick and down is all LV machines. So I'm already running those EBFs comfortably. You know what I'm saying? It takes very long, maybe about 5 hours at this point before all the batteries completely drain the power. You know what I'm saying? And the multi blocks are completely drain the power. You know what I'm saying? And that's along with the Steam setup still constantly running and functioning. You know what I'm saying? But they barely flicker now. They barely flicker. They barely run out of. They barely start struggling and all that. You know what I'm saying? But they do get to a point where they do start struggling. But I feel like I'm alright with combustion generators because that's a lot more power that I'm producing and whatever. And those solar panels, I've used those a million times back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Solar flux or whatever it was called back in the day. You know, it's a thermal expansion add-on and all that. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Those are the plans currently right now or whatever. And we're gonna make it do what it do basically.